Hello, and welcome to episode 49 of the Wayward Skein. I don't have a lot to talk about tonight, but I figured I would pop on and record a short episode. It has been a very long week. There's not been a whole lot of knitting time. I know that's become my usual catchphrase these days, but yeah, it's been a little bit crazy. Unfortunately, you're sitting on the chair in front of me on a laptop instead of being somewhere. Yeah, I shouldn't lean back. Instead of being somewhere where you're actually level with my face and I can talk directly to the camera. So, and try not to look down too much. My son's sitting over there kind of making fun of me. And his kitty is just sitting there watching me, sitting on his feet, watching over here because she knows I'm talking to you guys. So anyway, it is Sunday, July 28th. This is going to be the last episode in July. And of course, once again, I'm not prepared for the birthday shoutouts. I apologize. I will try to be more on the ball with that. It's been a crazy weekend. Worked yesterday. Today, my usual Sunday thing is to go to my mom's for dinner. And we picked up a family friend who lives in a nursing home nearby and brought her over. And then I had to leave early to bring her back, which meant I didn't get to help my mom clean up the kitchen the way I normally do. And so I felt a little bit bad about that. And then, as it turned out, I had forgotten my knitting at my mom's house. So I had to go back anyway. Yeah, my mom sent home enough food that I don't have to do groceries this week. I'm pretty sure. She sent home hamburgers and hot dogs and corn on the cob and like everything. So we've got plenty of food for the next few days. I've made a little bit of progress on my knitting. I'm going to show you the right side. So the last time you saw this, I had cast on here. Sorry, I'm going to show you flat. I had cast on here, and I had knit. Sorry, it's really dark and it's not showing up very well because I lost one of my light bulbs. I think it was about here. So I had knit this much, and now I have finished the part of the back that is knit in one piece, and then you pick up stitches along the shoulder seam here, along where you cast on, to start knitting the front. And I finally gotten to the part where I joined the front pieces, because it started as two pieces with two separate balls of yarn, which is why there's a string hanging off the middle here. This is the one I'm supposed to cut now. So I have now joined the two sides in the front, and I'm ready to continue knitting the front until the point down here where I join it to the back at the bottom of the armholes. So I've made a little bit of progress, and my goal for next week is to have that part done and to have these two pieces joined. You can see here I haven't gotten very far. This is the seam here, so this is, sorry, my needle's stuck. This is how far I've gotten on the front, is just here. So I still have 7 pattern repeats to do before I'm ready to join them. And it's my goal to get that done this week. I do have a fairly tight deadline on this sweater. This is the Yorkville sweater test knit for Mina Phillip, who is the knitting expat. She has no problem with us showing our work. She's already shown the sweater itself on Instagram. Sorry, I realize my needles keep banging the computer there. So she's already shown the finished object on Instagram, so she doesn't have a problem with us showing our work. I really love the way the short row shaping made the neckline. I'm going to have to knit a neckband around this as well, but I really love the way the short row shaping did that, and there's going to be short rows on the sleeve caps as well. So I made some really good progress this weekend, and I'm looking forward to making a lot of progress this week. I did pick up an extra shift at the store, so we'll see how well that works out. One of my coworkers texted me earlier and said, so apparently they didn't take my vacation request into account. Do you mind working on Thursday night for me? And I was like, yeah, I could do that. I've been thinking of picking up some extra hours, basically because a large chunk of money that I've been getting every month from the government for, it wasn't a huge chunk of money, but I've been getting money from the federal government every month. Because I was a single mom, and I lose that this month because somebody just is turning 18 on Thursday. So I've been thinking about picking up more hours at the store to compensate for that. So there we are. I have gotten no other knitting done. I still haven't even taken Rob's sock out of my suitcase that I took to Chicago a couple of weeks ago. It has seen no love whatsoever. Once I'm comfortable with the progress I'm making on the sweater, I may pick that up again. But I can currently knit on this sweater on the bus with no problem whatsoever. So I don't need the pattern in front of me. It's an 8-row repeat and I've memorized it, so I don't need the pattern with me for at least the next 7 repeats. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Or I guess the next 1, 2, 3, the next 3 repeats, because then I have to start the armhole shaping. So yeah, that should be more than enough to get me through bus rides for the next couple of days. It's kind of funny because my mom has a pass to the same gym that I go to. She's never gone to the gym. It's my uncle's membership, but it's a transferable membership. Like if you're not using it, you can pass it to somebody else. You can't both be in the gym at the same time, but you can loan it to somebody else to use when you're not using it. My uncle golfs a lot, so he doesn't use the gym membership during the summertime, but it's the same gym I go to. So my mom and I are actually going to go to the gym tomorrow night. I'm going to introduce her to the gym, and I'm really hoping she enjoys it, because then maybe I can go with her once in a while when these guys don't feel like going. So yeah, I'm very tired. At 7, it's by the fact that, I'm yawning in your faces. I did have tea. I finished it. It was Blackberry Blizzard by David's Tea, and it was fabulous, and I need to order more of that. I'm really hoping they haven't retired it, because it was delicious. And I'm feeling peeved that it took me this long to try it. It was in my advent calendar, and it's taken me this long to try it. It was so good. It was sweet. It was fruity. It was so good. It would be amazing iced. And it didn't matter that I left the tea bag in the cup. It didn't get bitter at all. It's a herbal tea. So I really, really enjoyed that. Anyway, that's all the knitting I have to talk about. I watched the rest of season 4 of Queer Eye. There was some major crying. And then I watched a season of one of my guilty pleasures. It's a children's program called The Worst Witch from the UK. It's loosely based on Harry Potter, sort of. I imagine there is a book series. I don't know if the book series predates Harry Potter or if it came after, but it's a very similar feel of story. Much, much lower budget, obviously. But yeah, so I really enjoy that series. It's cute. One of the characters is completely unlikable, though, and I have a lot of problem with the fact that she never really gets her comeuppance. Although she is a kid, so maybe I'm just being mean. I watched a few more episodes of Chef's Table, which is one of my favorites. I've been really enjoying it, and I suspect that I've seen the episode that I watched today before. It was about a guy who runs a restaurant called Alinea in Chicago, and I know I've heard about this restaurant before. I know I've seen stuff about this restaurant before, so I don't know if I've actually seen this episode before in another context, or if it's just a different story that was done on the restaurant. But anyway, so I have heard of that restaurant before. I could never afford to eat there. It's a very expensive restaurant. It's an experience restaurant. You don't go there because you're hungry. You go there to have a new experience around food. And so yeah, I will probably never get to eat there, but that's all right. It's not the sort of stuff I really enjoy. I'm not that big into avant-garde cooking, where they're like using vaporizers to infuse things with scents. And like one of the dishes that they serve is actually served on a pillow. It's a plastic bag inflated with this odor that they then puncture holes into the pillow so that whenever you are cutting anything on your plate, the odor wafts up, and it's like, wow, that's wow. So I thought that was a little far-fetched and a little more involved than I am. Excuse me. Than I'm willing to get with food. But there we are. So I watched that. I haven't seen any movies this week. And I haven't watched any podcasts. Like I said, podcasting has been really quiet lately. Not a lot of people have been putting episodes out. The bigger podcasts like the Bakery Bears, the Nene Expat, the Nick Girls, they've all been putting out episodes regularly, but like most of the smaller ones that I watch, nothing's been happening. So I don't have much to report on that front. And I didn't really go out this week. I didn't socialize with anybody. I just kind of like kept to myself this week. So I don't have much to talk about. I haven't done any reading because I've been working mostly on my assignments for my classes. And I know I have an assignment due on Monday, tomorrow, that I need to finish. So that's about it. And I didn't work on it over the weekend. So it's going to be one of those last minute sort of things. It's not due till midnight tomorrow night, but I'm going to work on it during the day. So that's about all I have to chat about. I finished my tea before I talked to you. I didn't have a lot of knitting to show for, just this thing. And it's not really showing up that well because of the missing light bulb up there. It's a lot, not as bright as it usually is in this room. But I did want to throw a short episode up, and I didn't know if I was going to have time tomorrow with going to the gym. So I figured I would do this, and it's now almost 12 minutes, so I will let you guys go, and everybody have a fabulous week, and I really hope that you're all kind to one another. Bye.